Hi, welcome to another edition of the Alan Rosenberg Show. Got home from work about an hour ago, went on YouTube to relax, and a video from Pete Pardo and Sea of Tranquility came up. And it was called 10 Southern Rock Albums That a Newbie Needs to Own. And I'm like, that is great, Pete. That is right up my alley. I live on Long Island. This was the hotbed of Southern rock in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. And I went to see all the Southern rock bands, and I loved that genre so much, and I still love it. So I was like, you know what? Pete doesn't know me, he doesn't know my channel, but I would love to do a response to that video. So I hope he's not mad. I know he doesn't know my channel, but if you ever see this, Pete, I'm doing this 4 years. I got 343 videos, and probably 340 of them are concepts I came up with. So I hope you're not upset, but I'm going to pretend that I'm on your show right now, and you did your choices, and I'm going to answer my choices. So hopefully you all think it's fun. These are my choices for 10 Southern rock albums a newbie needs to own. Let's do it in alphabetical order. Now, Pete started with A with the Allman Brothers, and that is the perfect place to start because the Allman Brothers, don't think anybody would argue, are the biggest, most important Southern rock band of all time. And he chose Brothers and Sisters, which is a great album and a really great choice. The problem with Brothers and Sisters is that it's unique in the catalog in the sense that that's after Duane Allman died, and instead of bringing in a second guitarist, they brought in Chuck Leavell on piano, which was a great move, and the songs are great. He does amazing piano work, you know, on Jessica and Ramblin' Man and Wasted Words, etc., Come and Go Blues, but it's really not very representative of what the Allman Brothers always sounded like. There are two, you know, double lead guitar band, you know, playing dual lead guitar and trading riffs back and forth. You don't get that on Brothers and Sisters. So if I was going to choose a studio album, well, it's kind of a cheat. I would choose Beginnings, which is one of the first Allman Brothers albums I ever had. And this is a 1 CD, 2 LP compilation. The songs on the left-hand side of the debut album, the Allman Brothers Band, one of the great debut albums. And the songs on the right are from Outer Wild South, their second album. But this would be my choice. This is an amazing album. Don't Want You No More, It's Not My Cross to Bear, Black-Hearted Woman, Dreams, Whip and Post. It's incredible. Revival on Outer Wild South. This would be my choice for a studio record. The first two albums or Beginnings, or if you could only choose one, the debut Allman Brothers album. I would tell you that if it's not cheating, you can even get like a single greatest hits album, which is fantastic because their career, the Allman Brothers, are amazing. And it's nice to cherry pick throughout their career. The first compilation I ever had from them was on vinyl, The Road Goes On Forever, and this is a collection that's remastered and expanded. This is killer as well. So, you know, I don't know if Pete's okay with compilations, but I would definitely do a compilation for the Allman Brothers. But again, over Brothers and Sisters, I would go with their debut album, or Beginnings. Let's keep going. Next up is a choice that I would make that he didn't mention, and that is the Black Crowes. Now, the Black Crowes are, of course, a modern band, or not so modern anymore, right? Here's a great box set. A lot of people would probably choose their second album, The Southern Harmony and Musical Companion, but honestly, the one that I would choose from the Black Crowes, and they are from Georgia, so they are certainly carrying the flag of Southern rock, although they got a little bit of humble pie faces to them as well. And that's going to be Shake Your Moneymaker, their debut album. That turned the world upside down the year it came out. Twice as Hard, Jealous Again, She Talks to Angels, you know, Hard to Handle. This is an amazing debut album. And yeah, I would definitely choose the Black Crowes to be in this list. In the same kind of vicinity, but a newer band, is also from Georgia, I think, Blackberry Smoke. And they're a great band that are carrying the torch of Southern rock. And the first album I got by them is the one I would tell you to get, which is a live record called Leave a Scar. Now, I don't know if Pete's allowing live records. If you are, this is the one that I would tell you to get, because this is the one that I got that blew my head off. But if he's only sticking with studio records, then I would get the Whippoorwill, which is a terrific record, Six Ways to Sunday and the rest of it. This is a great album, better live record, and they are keeping the sound of Southern rock alive. Blackberry Smoke, and I definitely recommend them in Southern rock. Okay, after that, we're going to go to the Charlie Daniels Band. Now, the Charlie Daniels Band, if you know my channel, is my favorite Southern rock band of all time. And yeah, they are a rock band in the beginning with a big capital R. In fact, I got into the Charlie Daniels Band. I saw them on PBS in like 73 or 74. I think it was Austin City Limits. And that was for the Way Down Yonder album. And this is a fantastic album. But that's not the one that you're supposed to get. Yeah. The one you are supposed to get, I don't want the stuff to fall over, is this album, the follow-up, Fire in the Mountain. This is one of the greatest albums of all time. It is a historic album in my collection. I got it when it came out. And I've told people about this album, and on my channel I've gotten comments since that are like, wow, how did I miss this album? This is a perfect album. Caballo Diablo, Long-Haired Country Boy, Trudy, Georgia, Feeling Free, South's Gonna Do It, New York City, King Size Rosebud, and No Place to Go, Orange Blossom Special Live. This album is insanely great, and it's the best thing Charlie Daniels Band ever did. And with all due respect, Pete, it is light years better than Million Mile Reflections, which is a fine album. It was the album that Charlie Daniels went from playing Hofstra University to the Nassau Coliseum, and I saw them at both places. But there is nothing coming close to Fire in the Mountain. That's the one you should get. Now, if you love Fire in the Mountain, you want to get another amazing Charlie Daniels album, get Saddle Tramp, because this album is also amazing from beginning to end. And Pete mentioned that most of these Southern rock bands, they have like this epic jamming song, and they do. You got to check out Saddle Tramp, the title track. That is 10 minutes of Nirvana, man. It is incredible. And that's Charlie Daniels Band at the best right there. Fire in the Mountain, Saddle Tramp. Let's put that in over there. Let's keep going. Lynyrd Skynyrd. And Pete chose their debut album, pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd. And I'm with you, my friend. That is definitely the place that I would go for a studio record. What a debut album, right? I Ain't the One, Tuesday's Gone, Give Me 3 Steps, Simple Man. Oh, my God. And, of course, Freebird, which I never need to hear again. But that's not because it ain't great. It's because it's played out, right? So, Lynyrd Skynyrd for sure. Now, if you're allowed live albums, definitely got to get One More for the Road. That is a great, great live record, of course, from Skynyrd. One of the best live albums ever, actually. So, but I'm with you, Pete, on that debut album, pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd. Let's keep going. Next up, letter M, we're talking about the Marshall Tucker Band. And one of the great things about Southern rock, all these bands are a little bit different. And the Marshall Tucker is a bit jazzy. Got the flute, and Paul Riddle's a great jazzy kind of a drummer. And Pete chose a debut album. And if you have to choose a studio record from the Marshall Tucker Band, that is probably the one I would choose, because you get Take the Highway, Can't You See, Hillbilly Band, See You Later, I'm Gone, and Ramblin'. All really good stuff. Of course, Take the Highway is incredible, and Can't You See. But a lot of the Marshall Tucker albums, the studio records, they're not perfect, you know. Like the first one I ever got when it came out was actually Searching for a Rainbow. Another really good studio record, Fire in the Mountain, Searching for a Rainbow, live version of Can't You See. But again, kind of imperfect. Carolina Dreams is the one that's got Heard It in the Love Song, another great song and a good album. But if you really want to get into Marshall Tucker, you got to get a live record, and this is the one to get. There's a lot of live Tucker albums, but nothing comes close to Stomping Room Only. This is an incredible live album. And if Pete's going to allow live records, this is the one to get. The jamming is not so bad on there. You know, you get Ramblin' and 24 Hours at a Time. Those go on for a long time. Other than that, you get some really tight versions of the best of Tucker, but missing Heard It in the Love Song. That's the one to get. All right, let's keep going. He talked about Molly Hatchet, and that's a good place to talk, because Molly Hatchet, I remember when they came out, and they kind of took over the mantle from the missing Lynyrd Skynyrd, and you got the whistling and guitar army. And Pete chose Flirting with Disaster, and I definitely don't have a problem with that. Their second album is monstrous, just great. Boogie No More, the title track, Whiskey Man, their cover of It's All Over Now. It's a great album for sure. I think I would lean slightly more to the debut, only because I remember when it came out, and we were all excited about it. Bounty Hunter's great, Gator Country's great. Dreams I'll Never See, the Allman Brothers cover. So really, you could kind of go either way. With Molly Hatchet, like a lot of these other bands, you know, you're missing out. It's hard to choose one studio record. I actually think their live album's decent. It's not a great live record, but it's a good collection. And if he allows greatest hits, you might be better off with the greatest hits. But if you have to choose a studio record, yeah, either the debut or Flirting with Disaster. Either way, you can't go wrong. So no problem with that. But I'm going to give the slight edge to the debut, Pete. All right, let's keep going. After that, we have got the Outlaws, and Pete chose a debut album. Great choice. It could have also been Hurry Sundown. Their second album's a great record, too. Outlaws, another Southern guitar army, but a real country influence in some cases. You know, there goes another love song, Song for You. Waterhole's great, Knoxville Girl, and of course the epic Greengrass and High Tide, the studio version. But speaking of studio versions, when it comes to the Outlaws, if live albums are allowed, the first Outlaws album I got was this one, Bring It Back Alive. And I still love this album. This is a great live record. And the jamming is held to a minimum. You know, it's not bad except for Greengrass and High Tides, which is where the epicness is. So this is the one I would tell you to get if Pete allows live records. I'm not sure. So let's stick that over there. Now, he also mentioned some other bands. He mentioned ZZ Top. I totally get it. For me, I don't think of ZZ Top as a Southern rock band. I know they're from Texas, but they really are, and they're a class by themselves. I mean, you know, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers from Florida. I don't think of them as a Southern rock band either. But I get it. Some people would with the hats and stuff. But I wouldn't include ZZ Top in here. Who else? He mentioned 38 Special. I think 38 Special are good. I have a bunch of their albums, but I don't think they're anywhere in the same league as any of these bands, so I wouldn't include them. Blackfoot, another band that I do like. I have those albums. They're much more harder rock and southern rock, but I don't think they're anywhere near the level of these bands either. So who am I missing? I got two more to fill out the top 10, and one of them is this. And this is Henry Paul Band, Grey Ghost. Now, Henry Paul, of course, was in the Outlaws, and then he had a bad breakup with them, and he formed the Henry Paul Band. And this, their first album, Grey Ghost, is one of the great debut albums of all time by anybody. Not just in Southern rock. This album is a perfect album. And for Southern rock, it's even better. So Long, Crossfire, Foolin', Grey Ghost, the title track is the epic. This whole album is unbelievable. You gotta include Henry Paul Band, Grey Ghost, in my opinion. So that's what I would recommend for sure. There's one other band to fill out the 10. My number 10 that you should check out, and Pete mentioned them in passing, is Wet Willie. Again, Southern rock has got lots of different styles, and Wet Willie had Jimmy Hall as the lead vocalist, very much like a Peter Wolf, almost like a Jay Giles kind of a thing going. Great frontman, a very soulful Southern rock band. They don't sound anything like these bands, but a great band, and I would definitely include them in. Now, Pete mentioned the album Keep On Smiling. That probably is their strongest studio record, so no argument from me there. But again, it's just a snapshot of their career. You get the title track, which is great, and Countryside of Life, but there's so much more to them that I just have trouble just limiting it to, you know, Keep On Smiling, at least to me. So, what else would you include? Well, they got one of the great live albums of all time called Drippin' Wet. Oh my God, this was a single album, and this is just amazing. I mean, this is just as good a live album. This is like a Jay Giles Southern Rock live record. This is a phenomenal album. You want to hear another latter-day live album that's also amazing is Left Coast Live. So, I don't know. Like, if you were going to choose one album and Pete says to me, yeah, that's okay, you can go with a live record, I'd actually go with this one because it's got latter-day stuff on here as well. Just really great stuff. I mean, Grits Ain't Groceries, Baby Fat, Shame, Shame, Shame. I mean, this is party music. They're just great. There are some best ofs out there that you can grab as well. And there's one other track you got to mention, the latter-day album that they did called Mannerisms, which is actually a really fine record. After they got dumped by their record label, they put this thing out, and it actually had a song called, it's a really good record, the whole thing, but there's a song called Street Corner Serenade. I just have to mention that because I put it on tapes that I make, and nobody knows who it is. And every time I put that on, people start dancing. I'm like, what is that? That is the funkiest, great song. And it is, and it's Wet Willie. So Street Corner Serenade, you should check that out, because that's just a great track from Wet Willie. But yeah, if you got to pick a studio record, Pete, I'm with you. Keep on Smiling's a mighty fine choice. So there you have it. My top 10 album choices for a newbie to get into Southern rock. Hope you enjoyed this. Pete, if you ever see this, and I doubt you will, but if you ever do, take this as a compliment. Great idea for a video, and I loved your video. If you're new to my channel, hit subscribe. Check out my other videos. I got playlists and lots to watch. Oh, Pete mentioned the Atlanta Rhythm section, and I'm a fan. But I wouldn't choose them for a newbie either. They're just kind of middle of the road a lot, and I don't think, overall, I don't think they're at the quality of these other bands either. So I'm a big fan, but I wouldn't include them here. That's about it. Again, hit subscribe if you're new to my channel. Check out my other videos. As I always say, stay safe, stay healthy. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time on the Allman Rosenberg Show.